On private jets, taking trips, come back at 6, wake me and your child, and then won't lay today, make me wonder who you might have been playing with, makes me wonder who you think.
What's up, C Squad? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video with your girl. She is Chas. Guys, I'm excited because right now I am vlogging with my camera. I am not using my phone. My phone is right here in my hands, and you know, I'm really excited right now. So it may look a little different, but yeah, let me just fix y'all so y'all can see more of me. Ain't no that stuff y'all just saw, that was just my blankets and stuff. But yeah, so today I am gonna be bringing you guys, well, giving you guys a story time. So this story time, I don't have the exact like name I'm gonna call it, but it's basically like a kind of like how an old friend of mine kind of like set me up type story time. So yeah, and I got a few receipts in my phone of it. So but yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any new videos from me, your girl. And let's get into this. Let's get into story time. So this happened around like 3 years ago, because I remember I was 16 years old at the time. And there's a lot of people in this story, in this story, so I'm not gonna say the real name, I'm just gonna give them nicknames. So around this time, it was what, 2023, I was 16 years old. It was my cousin's birthday. We're gonna call my cousin, what's a good nickname? R Baddie. We're gonna call her R Baddie, okay? Because she is a baddie. So it was around R Baddie's birthday, and she was just turning 16 years old. So the day of her party, because she was having a party, you know, I wake up, you know, I go on my phone, check my social media, you know, basically what I do every day. I wake up, you know, check my social media, see if anyone texts me, whatever. So, you know, I get a notification that someone that I knew, that our bag knew this girl too. Well, everyone in this story know this girl. So this girl that I know, we're gonna call her Little Red Riding Hood. We're gonna call her that. So Little Red Riding Hood, and I say this, I call her that because she always used to have red braids. Just to let y'all know. So Little Red Riding Hood made a new Instagram account, and she followed me, and you know, I accepted. I'm like, yeah, you know, never talked to her, you know, I guess I could follow her back. So you know, she texts me, unfortunately I don't have receipts of that because it happened on my old Instagram account. I got a new one, so yeah. So she texts, she's like, hey, do you want to like FaceTime me or whatever? I'm like, sure, I guess. So we FaceTime each other, we talk, you know, and then it leads to a point to where, cause me and our baddie, we have a cousin. We're gonna call him Rod Wave, okay? We're gonna call him Rod Wave. So she's like, hey, you know Rod Wave, Little Red Riding Hood. She asked me, do I know Rod Wave? I said, yeah, you know, he's my cousin, but at the time we didn't know we was related. We was just friends, you know, me, him, and his girl. We was friends. We was all like in a group chat. So I was like, yeah, you know, he's my big brother. I used to call him my big brother because he used to call me his little sister. So you know, and she's like, well, hopefully, you know, he wakes up and follows me back. He's taking forever. I'm like, well, he's probably just sleeping or on the phone with his girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? Because they always on the phone. They would go to sleep on the phone, wake up on the phone, you know. They're that type of couple. And we're going to call his girl, we're going to call her Cardi B, okay? We're going to call her Cardi B. So, yeah. So I was like, oh, he's probably just on the phone with his girl, you know. They always on the phone. She's like, I guess so. And that's when Little Red Riding Hood goes to ask me like, hey, how you feel about Rod Wave and Cardi B relationship? I said, what you mean? And she's like, well, it's just something about their relationship just makes me feel weird. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, the vibes that Cardi B just gives. I'm like, well, what vibes did she give? Like weird cheating vibes? That's when Lil Red Riding Hood shakes her head. Yeah, mind you, we're on FaceTime. We're not saying this through messages or any of that. So we, you know, we was on FaceTime. So I was like, I don't think so. I don't think she gives cheater vibes. You know what I'm saying? Cause I know her. You know, cause we was friends at the time. We was texting each other. So I'm like, no, I don't think she gives weird cheating vibes. And that's when Lil Red Riding Hood was like, oh, I guess so. Whatever. We just kept talking. Then, you know, we end the call, you know, and I went about my day. So I went to go hit up our baddie's boyfriend. We're gonna call him X. You know, the singer XXS Tentacion, cause he kind of looked like him. So we're gonna call him that. So, you know, I go to like, I think I told him that same day, but the day after. At some point, I let him know, like, hey, you know, because me and him, we was real, like, brother and sister. Like, because we went to the same high school. We was, like, for real brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I let him know. He's like, you know, like, don't go, you know, telling them, you know, because it was our baddie's birthday. You know, we don't want to, like, ruin the vibe. You know what I'm saying? So then, you know, I went to our baddie's birthday party, and that's when Rod Wave and his girl Cardi B, they pull up, and that was my first time meeting Cardi B in person. So you know how when you first meet someone that you've been talking to on the phone, friend wise, you don't want to give them like a weird impression, like, oh hey, you know, I know this is our first time meeting, by the way, this girl said something about you and your man, like, you know, I didn't want to get that weird vibe, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we had fun, you know, our baddie's birthday was lit and everything. So, all's that. So, 6 months later, we're still in this group chat, right? And I text X, because I had his number. I was like, hey, have you ever have you ever been wanting to tell someone? Because around this time, there was a lot of people in this group chat. We was like telling everyone like how we feel and stuff. Like, we was not keeping secrets or anything. We was just being upfront and being honest with each other, you know? So, and I have receipts of this. So I text X. I'm like, hey, have you ever wanted to tell something, but you just, you know? And actually, I'm gonna go to it because I screenshotted it. So this was like in October. So here, I don't know if you guys can see, but if y'all, I'm just gonna pop it up like right here. So I'm like, what's up, bro? He's like, what up? I'm like, how are you? He's like, chilling. What about you? I'm like, just living. You know, he's like, that's good, this, that, and whatever. So I'm like, question. He said, yeah. I said, have you ever wanted to tell someone something that's been kicking you ever since someone told you some information, but you don't want to tell them because at the end everyone's gonna be pointing fingers at you? He's like, yeah. I said, what do you do with that stress? He's like, to be honest, music, like meaning listen to music. So I'm like, okay. So, and here's the second screenshot. I just had it. Silly goose me. So here's I don't know if y'all can see, but like I said, I'm just gonna pop it up right here. Y'all just gonna see it. So, you know, so yeah. So at some point I'm like, all right, you know what? I can't take this. I'm just gonna let y'all know. So I text in the group chat. You know how in the Instagram group chat you're able to like add the person you want to send a question to. So I like add Rod Wave and add Cardi B. I have something to tell y'all. They're like, what's up? What's going on? So I'm like, okay, so y'all know Lil Red Riding Hood? They say yeah, because Lil Red Riding Hood was also Rod Wave's little sister. Like they had a friendship to where they was calling each other big brother, little sister, and all that. So, you know, so I was like, y'all know her? They say yeah. And that's why I was like, well, around our baddie's birthday, she told me some stuff. Like how she didn't like y'all relationship because Cardi B was giving weird cheating vibes. And they're like, whoa, what? You know? So then, you know, we all talked about it. You know, Cardi B, she was like, Chaz, I'm not mad at you. I'm glad you told me, but I wish, you know, you didn't wait like months after all this happened. You know what I'm saying? They could. And I said, well, I understand that, but it was like our first time meeting up and hanging out. You know, I didn't want to give that weird vibe. She's like, Chaz, that's fine. If you would have told me, we would have called her back up and be like, hey, you know, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? So then, yeah. So then we all kept talking about it. So then more months go by, and you know, they all decided to confront Lil Red Riding Hood, saying why she said what she told me, you know. And then Lil Red Riding Hood go say, oh no, that wasn't me, that was my sister that told Chassie that. Your sister at the time didn't have braids in her hair. She had her natural hair out. You're the one that had red braids in at the time. So unless there was a clone of you that I was on the phone with, so far, you're the one that told me. Your sister was not near you. She was not in the room. She didn't have braids in her hair or anything or any of that. So, you know, so she kept saying, that wasn't me. I didn't say that. That was my sister. And all that. So then, you know, it led to, you know, her sister talking crazy to me through her account on Instagram. And I'm like, okay, at this point, you're doing way too much. All that. So then me, Rod Wave, Cardi B just blocked Lil Red Riding Hood. We haven't talked to her ever since. I don't talk to Rod Wave and Cardi B anymore, but I'm gonna save that for another story time for you guys. If y'all want one, but y'all let me know down below. But, you know, so basically, that's really what happened. So like, be careful around people that say they're your friend, and in reality, they're really not, you know. So yeah, just be careful out there, guys. All right. But yeah, that's all I got. That's all the tea. That's just a little bit of some of the tea I want to tell y'all. Y'all know what I'm saying? But I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you don't miss out any videos from your girl. And let me know if y'all mess with the camera quality, because this is my first time vlogging with a camera, and I'm gonna continue on. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to keep filming with this camera or with my phone. Just let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Young private jets, taking trips. Come back at 6, wake me in your child.